Former Brisbane policeman Ian Birchley has traded the city streets for a block of land in the country. He was forced out of the Queensland Police Service 3 years ago after blowing the whistle on his fellow officers' rough treatment of drunk people in custody.
I just became increasingly concerned that somebody would be very seriously injured, if not die, in police custody if this sort of thing continued,
4 years ago, Ian Birchley was working on the Brisbane City beat as a senior constable. He recalls being disturbed by two of his fellow officers who would openly boast about picking fights with drunks.
I do recall on one instance, one of those officers got up after our short meeting at the beginning of a shift and walked away with the words, "Well, who are we going to bash tonight?" And that raises nothing more than a few chuckles, and the attitude was, well, that's just him being him.
Fed up with what he perceived to be a lack of action by his superiors, Senior Constable Birchley lodged a complaint with Queensland's Crime and Misconduct Commission.
Certainly police organisations are unique. Police officers and staff members within the organisation must come forward. There's a legislative imperative that they do that, and when they do, we must support them. And the Internal Witness Support Program aims to do just that.
However, an industrial magistrate has found the internal support program for Senior Constable Birchley was next to useless. Commissioner Tony Fitzgerald described an unwritten police code in which criticism of fellow officers is strictly forbidden. It's this unwritten code Ian Birchley knows only too well.
In some cases, people would refuse to ride in a lift with me, or if I approached a group of other officers, they would just turn or walk away, something of a leper.
Ian Birchley was moved to what he describes as a dead-end job on the front desk at the Roma Street headquarters. And then he found his applications for a transfer to the country town of Kingaroy were mysteriously blocked, despite the earlier approval of his superiors.
I was being targeted and being prevented from moving to Kingaroy, and that was to be my punishment. I could almost go anywhere so long as it wasn't somewhere that I wanted to go.
And that was coming from the top?
Yes. That was found to come from assistant commissioner levels. Yeah.
And that's not just his opinion. On granting Ian Birchley workers' compensation for a depressive illness, Industrial Magistrate Wendy Cull found two assistant commissioners, who have since retired, had unreasonably blocked the senior constable's transfer. Twice over the past 2 years, the 7:30 report has highlighted surveillance video footage of what appears to be inappropriate use of force by Brisbane police. And Ian Birchley's experience now raises questions about the way in which the Queensland Police Service responds to internal complaints about this very issue.
If you dare to speak up, you can expect to get some kind of punishment. But at the end of the day, my oath of service is to the public.
And of course, there's still the substance of Ian Birchley's allegation that police were roughing up people detained for drunkenness and public nuisance offences. That very issue was put on the agenda not by Ian Birchley's complaint, but by two unrelated cases captured on video earlier this year and in 2006.
The anecdotal evidence of our clients is certainly suggests that this isn't an isolated incident.
Both of these arrests are still under investigation, but Queensland Police say these cases are atypical.
The vast majority of contact that we have with the people in the community leads to a very positive experience and certainly no complaint.
And the complaint Ian Birchley lodged back in 2004 is still being processed. The case against the two constables will be heard by Queensland's Misconduct Tribunal later this year. But Mr Birchley is no longer part of the police service. His victory before an industrial magistrate ended a 2-year legal battle. He fought without any legal representation.
Certainly life's much better now with the court decision earlier this year, and I've been able to gain back some of my lost wages. You never get it all back, and I don't think I'll ever be the same person again.